How are you going to title it Boxing Day reactions and as an American not even know what Boxing Day is?
all I know was you said, "Hey, do you know what Boxing Day is?" And I'm just like the fighting boxing. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude.
The rest of the world has Boxing Day, and as always, Americans have to be different.
You know what's funny that you say that? Well, hold on. Before we begin, make sure you guys do check the description below for any sponsors that we have. All in the description. Make sure you guys get your guys self hooked up. Now, with that being said, I was watching this TV show called Acapulco. And
you said this before.
I've said this before. We talked about what Apple TV Plus Max XL, whatever they're calling themselves, Apple TV originals. That a lot of the stuff that they do is a lot of their shows, actually if not all their shows, they kind of put it in real life situations and they make you kind of relate to kind of like I don't know, like they make it relate to like real life situations. So Acapulco, you're muted, by the way. I don't know what happened. Acapulco, check this out, bro. Acapulco is in Mexico, and they were talking about how this American lady, you just muted yourself again. I don't know what's happening, not me. They were saying that so this American lady purchases the resort, and they're making everybody on the resort learn English. You're not allowed to talk in Spanish. And they're just like, but why? I don't know what's going on with your system. And now I can't hear you at all. I don't know what's happening. Your system got taken over again. But while you're working on your audio, what had happened was, they said something about the United States was calling it like, oh yeah, like America, in America, this is what we talk, and this is how everybody else should be talking, especially if we're working together. But in America, he was talking about the United States, right? Nope, can't hear you at all still. So in the United States of America, that's kind of how we do it. That's kind of how we do it. We talk about, you can still hear me, right? Okay. You might, maybe you just probably should restart your computer again and unplug everything. No. See, this is what's happening with our, keep going. This is what happens with our technical difficulties. Next level goes all ham and everything just explodes.
Stupid thing.
There you are. You're there now.
Okay. All right, cool.
So they're saying like, oh yeah, in America, this is how we do things. And then he says, why do you guys refer to America? You guys are not America. America is the northern continent, the southern continent. That's America. Why is it that you guys encompass the United States of America as all of America? Mm. And the way he was saying it is, and it was kind of funny, the lady's analogy. I think it was either the lady or the son. Anyway, the analogy was, the reason why we say America is because America, or the United States, a lot of people run there. They run to that country because there's so much freedoms that a lot of other countries don't have. And even if you do have other freedoms in other countries, opportunity in the United States is so much bigger than any country in the world. And it doesn't matter if it's the UK, doesn't matter if it's Canada, it doesn't matter if it's first country or not. The powers to be, especially in the United States, is so much different than the rest of the world. And the guy was kind of like the Mexican guy was kind of like saying like he's just like, I'm happy here in Acapulco. Like why would I ever go to the United States and look for something when I'm in paradise here and I'm doing great here? Well, his older self that's explaining the story lives in Santa Monica, California. Mm-hmm. He's in the United States. And it's funny because he's explaining it to his nephew saying like, well, why are you here then? Like, why aren't you still down there? And he's just like, well, things changed. Things were a little bit different. Mexico got a little bit crazy. And he's just like, there's too many ways of avenues in the United States that you can succeed. Everywhere else, you can also succeed, but you cannot dream as big as it is here in the States. And he was talking about like Hollywood. He's talking about the music industry. Like there's so many things that only exist here. And if they do exist outside, it's not in the same level as it is here.
Right. But, you know, one of the biggest things USA has going for them is population, right? And because of the population, it is able to do a lot of interesting things when it comes to marketing, when it comes to companies, when it comes to, you know, the amount of liquidity and the amount of assets that are within, you know, a country. So somebody can be completely happy where they are. It all determines, it all comes down to what kind of lifestyle you want to live, right? Are you happy living on a ranch, you know, with, you know, just living off the land? Then you could live anywhere in the world. Literally, you can live anywhere. There's places like that in the States too, right? But, you know, depending on what you're, I don't know if I'm going to stretch this out and say this, but depending on your morals, that's how far you can get away from maybe your heritage. Right? Because, you know, when we look at, you know, ethnic groups, I know we're both part of, you know, different ethnic groups that are not originated from America, or at least not from North America,
or the countries that we're living in.
Yeah, right. From the countries that we're living in, you look at, you know, how people live in those originating countries versus how the people that move here live are completely different. There's a lot more solidarity when it comes to family, when it comes to, you know, your neighbors. A lot of places that I've lived in, I don't really know my neighbors. I mean, the new place that we just got, I know my next door neighbor and we're really good friends, but that's something that I'm finding is more and more rare these days, right? Like when we go back to, you know, for lack of a better term, some of these non-first world countries, they've really come together and they're really willing to help you out. And obviously there's bad places within them, but you know, if you grow up in a place, you kind of know how to walk that life too. But it comes with give and take. So, you know, people can argue both sides when it comes to freedoms, right? So, you know, when you give certain freedoms and you take certain freedoms, or, you know, sometimes the government acts on your behalf to give you things that they think that are beneficial for your life. So, for instance, across the side of the border, you know, some of your money is taken and it's used in regards to healthcare and stuff like that. But, you know, living on this side of the border and talking to people on your side of the border, it's like, you paid what for what? Are you crazy? Right. Yeah. But again, like a healthcare system that's government run is kind of like insurance. It's in case shit happens. And unfortunately, health ain't always the best. There's always shit trying to kill us. And we're always trying to apparently kill ourselves too. So it is what it is, right? Like it depends on if you're the mentality. It's like, if you're the mentality, or it's my money's my money, then go to the States. Like there's lots of places where you'll have more access to more money and what to do with your money, versus, let's say, coming to Canada here and, you know, you're being taxed heavily every which way you turn, but there's that safety net that if you turn the wrong way and you break something, that, you know, it's okay. Like I just recently broke my wrist. It was in a cast. I didn't pay for shit, nothing. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know
and
how
see
that,
here, it would have been like if you don't have insurance, probably thousands of dollars.
And bro, I went for CT scans, like MRIs, like
yeah, we would have been in debt over here.
yeah. No,
And it would
I'm
have been
good.
for the next like Lord knows how long, like like 10 years, and you have to pay interest on it too, because you probably have to pull a loan.
Dude, you almost made me spit out my coffee on that shit. God damn.
I will say this though, because when I was listening to like that thing from Acapulco, and they was talking about how the United States is so great with a lot of stuff. Because me, you know, my family's from El Salvador, and I love El Salvador. If it wasn't for, you know, the gangs, the MS-13, the guerrillas, the like all this stuff up there. I'm not talking about the monkey gorillas. I'm talking about yeah. So you and me both, our family are from closest to the equator.
Yeah.
You know, so we like that tropical weather and all that stuff. Like I absolutely love it. You know, when I was there, I'm just like, dude, this is paradise. Like I'm like, why did my family leave? Like, dude. But as you see, like how countries are, it's crazy. And even, you know what, I have a friend that works in Hollywood, and his wife, I heard she's also my friend. She's from Australia, and it's not like Australia is bad either. Australia is great, you know, but the opportunities that are here in the States are so much bigger.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I was looking at, like if you take opportunities out, because you can find your opportunities everywhere, there's one thing that the United States has that nobody has out there in the rest of the world. I'll say this. Where you are currently living at, you're going to experience snow every year. You're going to experience that cold every year. You're probably going to experience some heat every year also.
Oh yeah, our summers get crazy.
And you have these cycles. You have these cycles.
Yeah.
In the United States, the beauty about this thing is, and this is one thing that I actually learned way back then, I want to say in the early 90s. I was like in maybe 5th grade or maybe in junior high, 6th grade, and people were saying, like, especially California, they're like, dude, everybody wants to live in California because how the weather is, just on the weather. And I'm just like, but why? It's just, for me, I was born and raised here, so I'm like, it's just California. But when I think about it, when you look at the United States, if you want snow, you could live in places in the United States that will give you that. If you want 4 seasons, all 4 seasons, if you want heat, if you want spring, if you want the leaves to turn colors, and if you want snow, you could live places that have that. If you don't want all 4 seasons, if you want 3 of those seasons, let's just say you don't want snow, you could have that. The United States is one of the like, I would say it's the, like, I don't know what other countries are out there that you could live in a country like this and choose what type of weather you want. You're like, I'm going to move here and I know exactly what I'm getting into. If I move over there, I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like here in the States, bro, we practically only have in California, we have one, well, where I live.
Right.
I have 1 season, you know, it averages about 76 degrees year round.
Yeah. And the closest we'll get to that north of the border would be like Victoria, BC. And they might get something around like 35 degrees Fahrenheit. You know what I mean? Like that's considerably warm when it comes to winter, but it's obviously you still get a little bit of a winter. Like it's mild. So be it. But I mean, you're not going to get a winter like what I get on this side over here.
Yeah. And I don't, if I want to get that type of winter that you get, I have to drive up the mountain. And the cool thing about it is, bro, for me to get into the snow, it's only an hour drive up the mountain.
I used to live in Alberta, and the coldest days that I would see would be somewhere around, now I already did the conversion for you. And here's the tricky part, or the trippy part, is this number is exactly the same in Celsius as it is Fahrenheit. It used to get minus 40 degrees.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I used to joke because I ran a retirement home, and I would joke to the kitchen staff when they came into work. I was like, yo, you could go into the commercial freezer that right now is set to minus 27 and you could warm up.
That's nuts, bro. That's nuts.
But
Yeah.
Alberta's a different beast, bro. Like Alberta is crazy. But Alberta, like when I was living there, I would drive a little bit up north, like in like 2 hours, just past like Edmonton. You could see the northern lights. You'd have long ass days in the summer because of how shit works with,
With the
astrology
sun
or
and
whatever. I don't know.
rotation, yeah.
I'm not a rocket scientist, but
Rocket science. But I will say, every country has some sort of corruption, and the United States is not perfect by any means, So I know some people are like, "Oh, you're just high on hypotenuse. You're just high on."
You're high on pumpkin pie.
But it's I as jacked up as it is here in the States, and as jacked up as it is everywhere. You know what? I wouldn't really change it for anything. I absolutely love where I'm at.
One of the strongest things in the States is also a double-edged sword for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually your media. Your media is one of the strongest things you have, and your media is actually a double-edged sword because when you guys F up, it's all over the media.
Yep. Everywhere.
And everywhere has effed up situations, but not everywhere has the same media impact as the States do.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. But yeah, so I don't know. And don't get me wrong. Like I've been to Fiji, and I'm just like, dude, if I can move to Fiji, I totally would do it because it's such an amazing place. But I don't know how their politics are. I don't know how their crime rate is. I don't know how their, like, all I saw was a glimpse, like a week, like there for a little bit. And I don't really know what the nitty gritty is in Fiji, but like I think that's the beauty part from being here in the States, that, dude, if I want to go to China, I could fly into China and visit there, and I could easily go to North Korea and visit there. I could go to all these places where we have beef with, and we could go and visit there. Some of those countries, bro, they can't fly out anywhere. They can't fly. They, like, dude, did you know? Okay, Mexico is just right here, right, like 2 hours. I'm 2 hours roughly away from the border, bro. Check this out. If somebody wants to come from Mexico here to the States, they have to get some sort of permission. Once they get some sort of permission, then they have to prove that they have money to actually be able to spend here. Once they do that, they have to show proof that they can get the hotel, and they have to be able to prove that they can come back also, not that they're stuck here. Once you could prove that, then you could get your passport, bro. How many steps do you have to go until you actually could get your passport? And you know what's interesting? Actually, one of my friends, she lives in Serbia.
Okay.
Same exact rules over there. Can't leave the country. You cannot leave the country unless you have all this proof of stuff. And it's very, very strict. Why do you want to go there? Why do you want to fly over there? Why are you vacationing over there? There's like questions that they want to ask. And I think about it, I'm just like, dude, I'm very, and you too, I'm pretty sure you're about the same. Your country, you guys are very lucky that we could just book a flight, pay for our passport, and go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Well, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago has strong ties, especially to the U.S. because of the oil that it has.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go down there with U.S. dollars, you're treated very well.
I know. I've been there.
Yeah, man. But to be very blunt, like I've just started getting back into real estate, and I'd be lying if I was to say I'm just looking at real estate in Canada. I've already started saving up for a place. I've already started looking at places in Tobago because eventually I want to be a snowbird. I do. And do you know what a snowbird is?
I only know because you've told me before. Fly south when it gets cold.
Yeah. So in Canada, a snowbird is typically seen as like an elderly person that, they live in Canada when it's nice, and they live somewhere else when it's cold,
warmer.
And they warmer, right? Yeah. So I've told you guys it's crazy expensive for real estate in Canada. The average home in the city here goes for $1.2 million Canadian, which works out to like $900 to $1 million US.
Like $20.
if I can, kind of build up my real estate and I get to 2 or 3 properties, by the time I'm ready to retire, I should be able to get a nice little thing. Like, dude, look at this. I'm gonna just show you because I get excited looking at this stuff. So this is a beachfront property that I was looking at, just daydreaming, right? Now this is going for 850,000 US, but like look at that,
Nice.
right? Like, why not? Why not live in a place? I know it's not like crazy, crazy, but like, why not live in a place like that if you're retired? Because your cost of living in a place like this is not much, right? So if I could get to a point in my life where I can buy a place like that and retire 6 months of the year, why the hell not?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Elon Musk is coming out with his, Starlink, so I can have internet anywhere. Doesn't matter if I'm in the jungle, like whatever, yo. Life is
Yeah.
life. Live it, bro.
Yeah, I get it. So I know we went on a crazy tangent.
Would you do something like that? Would
I
you
would.
look at something in El Salvador as like a place that you could go and crash for like a few months a year?
Mm-hmm. I definitely would. You know what? As I told you before, I'm looking into getting out of California. Those prices, you could get homes with that price in California. Maybe not on the beach, but you wouldn't be far away from, maybe an hour drive from the beach, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm really looking into getting out because I'm just like, dude, if we sell this house, we could pay cash and be scot-free of a mortgage somewhere.
Yeah. Yo, even like same thing goes here. Like I have a buddy of mine who had a house here in the city, sold it, went to Nova Scotia, got 13 acres of land, and paid it off completely and is living off the land.
Yeah.
Because he sold his house in the city and he moved to a place that the real estate is super cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. And see if I can find something like that somewhere else. All this a lot of people are saying like, dude, you already made it in California. You're already a homeowner in California. The thing is, if it's not just being a homeowner in California, if I go and buy somewhere else and I'm a homeowner somewhere else, which it would be cash and it would be paid in full because of the equity we have in this house already, it would be, we could now, instead of paying $5 a gallon for gas, now we're paying $1 something for gas. Or, the milk, instead of paying whatever $5 for a gallon, now we're paying like $1 something a gallon for milk. You know what I mean? Like everything, your lifestyle changes
100%.
big time. So that's why it's kind of like, and people say like, oh, it's only a couple bucks, but dude, when you're spending about,
it's compounded, bro.
Yeah, when you're spending like close to $300 on groceries for 2 people, close to $300 a week for 2 people. I'm not stressing it. That's the thing. I'm not stressing it to be like, oh my gosh, gotta buy groceries. I'm not. I'm just like, cool. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy the brand. I don't care what it is. I work hard for my money and I'm good. And I do not stress about it. I'm not like check to check, But if I go somewhere else where I don't spend that much money and I'll have all this extra money that I could save, I would definitely look into like somewhere that's like Florida or beaches, like somewhere where I could like El Salvador or something, like purchase somewhere.
If I had something like that, I would rent it out to my friends and family. I'd be like, yo,
Yeah.
if I'm not there, like it is what it is, give me a little bit of bread and you guys could stay there, or Airbnb something, like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would do. My uncle had a place in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. And what he would do is he would go in and once a year or once every other year, he would kick them out for about 2 or 3 weeks, the people who live there. And what they would do is they would actually plan it out. They would, the people that were renting it, it might have been once a year, maybe once every other year, but they would plan a vacation and take off with their kids. And then my uncle and my aunt and my cousins would go there to that place and live there for a week while they're there, they would fix whatever needs to be fixing. So if they're just like, hey, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, they have a grocery list pretty much and just fix everything, and then they stay their vacation for a little bit, then they'll come back home. So they had like this family had a really sweet deal, and they weren't paying that much either. And then later on, what my uncle did was, over the years of all the payments that they made, he took that as their deposit and then sold them the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they made a pretty good deal off of that. I wish he would have kept that place because I'm like, I want to go. It's funny because I never got to go to the place, but my cousin said that my uncle just loves the snot out of me, just loves me a lot. He had a picture of me when we were fishing, and I was at the end of a pier. It's like one of those postcard pictures. I'm at the end of this pier. You see the ocean, you see the sun halfway down, and you see a fishing pole and my 8-year-old self holding it. And I never knew about this picture until they sold that place, and my uncle put that picture in his office at where he lives right now. And I'm just like, I was like, oh, I'm like, dude, that's a cool shot of my cousin Richie. He's like, that's not Rich. I'm like, who is it? He's like, that's you. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, I want a copy. That's a pretty badass picture.
Yeah. Yo, but it's crazy when you have property. There's so much stuff you can do. Like, you know, my buddy, the same one I told you that moved to Nova Scotia, he was like, I don't know what I should do for money. And I'm like, yo, you got 13 acres. You know what you can do with 13 acres? It's craziest stuff that I see people doing on Airbnb. Look at this. This is what people are doing on Airbnb here. Bro, this is in BC, right? You see a teepee?
That's crazy.
It's a teepee on Airbnb. What's the price, bro? You see that?
$350 a night. Wow.
$350 a night. $350 a night for a teepee.
That's crazy, bro.
Like
they're doing something. They're doing like that, like something. They just started doing that here too.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
So I know we got on some crazy tangents here, and then we started talking about well, we didn't start talking about Boxing Day. You just got mad at me because that's how I titled this. But I know this is like story time with nxtlvl and myself here. But what the hell is Boxing Day?
Bro, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas when they blow shit out. Okay, you know that day when people fight over Turbo Man over in the States and they get hurt?
Yeah.
Like after Christmas?
Yeah.
So like when people wait outside after Christmas, that right next day, like the rest of the world calls that Boxing Day, and it's a holiday.
So what is it? I don't get it.
It's just a marketing name for the day after Christmas that you get the day off and everybody goes shopping.
Okay. Here in the States, the day after Christmas is the day that everybody returns shit. Typically, it's people open up their presents and they open up something that they didn't want, or something that doesn't fit, or something that might be broken. And that's usually the day that everybody goes to the store to return stuff.
Boxing Day is a holiday that's celebrated the day after Christmas, occurring on the second day of the hell's a Christmastide. Though it's originated as a holiday to give gifts to the poor, today Boxing Day is primarily known as a shopping holiday. It originated in the United Kingdom and is celebrated in a number of countries. Previously formed part of the British Empire. Boxing Day is on the 26th of December, although the attached bank holiday or public holiday may take place either on that day or 1 or 2 days later. Boxing Day is also concurrent with the Christian holiday St. Stephen's Day. So yeah. So a lot of places here will say Boxing Week blowout, or whatever. And usually a lot of companies here will say we'll accept returns from this date to this date, but not usually the first week after Christmas, because they're trying to mitigate the crowds, right? So
well, you guys still have ties to the Queen, right? You guys are like still
kind of not really, like it's just a figure of,
it's a formality.
Honestly, it's a formality, bro. Like she's listed on the hierarchy with no power.
But in reality, she probably does have a lot of power.
I don't think so. I don't think she has any. I've never seen, heard, or anything in regards to news about the Queen and Canada. So
neither has the UK, but yeah, I that's interesting because I've never seen anything like that. Boxing Day, like for us here in the States, it's literally
just
it's return your shit day is what it is.
Yeah. So the rest of the world calls it Boxing Day. Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, here in the States, we are on our own freaking programs.
Yep, that's just right up there with your soccer and your Fahrenheit and your gallons. Who the hell uses gallons, bro?
On metric system.
Yeah, you guys are on the imperial system because you guys think you're imperialist or something. I don't know. You guys are part of the empire.
Part of the empire. But I don't understand why we're the only ones. Okay, so I'm trying to think about this. Like before I say something stupid, but
I'm a Google. Why are Americans American?
When yeah. Okay. The whole world before the United States was born back in 1772.
I don't know.
Whatever. 1770 something. All I know is the Marines, 1775. When it was all born back then in the day, and all, everybody was coming from the UK, from Spain, from Europe, and Africa, and wherever. We were bringing their systems here. Something that you can Google is, when did the United States get into our current system, our imperial system you're calling it?
Yeah.
Did we make that up? Did we literally make that up?
So it says, holy crap, there's a lot to read. You're making me research the freaking imperial system right now. It says, when was it? The article literally starts with, whatever the origin is, American imperialism experienced its pinnacle from the late 1800s through the years following World War II. During the age of imperialism, that's actually an age, the age of imperialism.
So 1800s is when we started using it.
Yeah, late 1800s. The United States exerted political, social, and economic control over countries such as the Philippines, Cuba, Germany, Austria, Korea, and Japan.
We literally said, dude, bro, this is what we said. Look, and I got my rock star right here. This is literally what we said. Somebody grabbed a pint. This is 1 pint, and said, you know what? We're gonna call this 16 fluid ounces. That's what happened. But why were we so? I know we were rebellious with like the UK and the French and all that stuff.
It says, why did the US switch to imperial? Why the US uses the imperial system is because of the British. Of course, when the British Empire colonized North America hundreds of years ago, it brought with its British imperial system, which was itself a tangled mess of substandardized medieval weights of measurement. So you guys just kept your medieval weights of measurement.
So is the British still using the same system, or did they switch to the metric?
Yeah, they're metric. They're kilometers. They're like everything that Canada is. That's like
so we're still medieval times over here.
Yeah, you guys are still in the medieval times. You're like, we don't change for shit.
We don't change for nothing. Woman, get me my axe. Yeah, I don't get it, man. It really, you know what? It really doesn't make sense if the world, I shouldn't say the world. If the world, I'm over here already staking the United States as the world. If we went along with the rest of the world, we would all be on a universal platform. So that way, when we go somewhere else, we know what speed we're going and what type of drinks we're going.
So here's a map of the world, right? And then it says metric or mainly metric is this blue, right? So this is the rest of the world.
Everybody.
That's pretty much everybody. And then Canada's this light blue, which is mostly United States customary. No, wait, we're purple. Mixed metric and imperial. So we use a little bit of imperial.
So you guys are confused.
With you guys.
You guys are confused.
Well, we're confused because of you guys. Because like, yo, like we gotta f with you guys a lot, so we gotta understand what the hell you're talking about.
What the hell
Right?
does main system of measurement unknown mean?
So whoever lives here, nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
Is that Laos? Okay, so that's China on top. India's next to them. Is that Laos or is that
I don't know, no idea. But
North Korea?
this is just showing you that we are purple because you guys we have to converse with you guys, but the rest of the world is no longer in the medieval ages.
Well, somebody's on main system of unknown.
Well, I mean, what we're
And
talking
then
about, like
somebody in Africa is unknown non-metric.
this person here and this person there, whatever. It just
What
means
does
they're
that
all
even
data.
mean? Main system of measurement unknown, and then the other one says unknown non-metric. So
It's their own system, but it's not metric and it's not imperial.
So the one that was orange was one of the two, but not sure which one.
Yeah.
Dude. It's like, hey,
You can't complain.
Just
You're
go.
still in the medieval times.
and that's the thing. They buy cars that are either going to be metric or imperial. So,
It's whatever's convenient, bro.
ooh, actually, you know what? Maybe they're on bikes. So you know what the speed is? You know what the speed is? My speed.
My speed. My speed is high speed.
My speed. So when the cops pull them over, hey, I'm giving you a ticket because you weren't going to my speed. Wait, my speed or your speed? That is some, I don't know what the hell that was, bro. That was just some stupidness right there. Oh man. And it's funny too, because when you compare the size of the United States and we're the only ones using that one, and then you look at the size of like the non-metric people or the people who are on anything else that they don't know, it kind of looks funny because it's like we're so big. It's just like, look, these big idiots over here.
Bumbling buffoon still in the medieval times.
Yeah, and then the other ones who are like little, you can't, it's like you're like, what country is that? I don't even know what it is. Whatever. Oh
Crazy,
man,
crazy.
and it's sad because we're such a big world's powerhouse. Literally, look at the big idiots over here. Yeah, actually, what's kind of funny? We had a conversation just recently about having your apps for your car that you could turn your car on with an app and stuff.
Yeah.
When I went into Mexico to drop off my pops to the airport, of course, all the signs say 20 kms. And I'm like, what the freak is that?
Kilometers an hour, bro.
I'm just like, am I going too fast or too slow? So what's crazy, I didn't know about this. I see my thing going, right?
Mm-hmm.
My MPH, my miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And
inside,
inside,
like, don't you also have kilometers an hour on the inside?
Not on my brand new truck. Check this out. So I'm over here like wondering, like, because I don't have the inside of it. Those are old school. These new cars, I know. Over here, all foo-foo. That's old school. These new cars, bro. So you know how you could push that thing and it resets your miles?
Mm-hmm. Your trip and stuff, yeah.
Your trip, yeah. So with these new, they're all digital now. So you have to hold it before it resets it, and then you could turn it, and it tells you your tire pressure, your oil, how much percentage is left, your engine hours, all this stuff. There's a thing that says measurement, and I could change US. It literally it doesn't say imperial. It says US. And the next one says metric. So I'm just like, metric. So I clicked it and it flipped it over to metric. And then my RPMs went like this, or my miles per hour went like this. All of a sudden, it's like, I'm like, and I was expecting my truck to go whoosh, ludicrous speed, go. And at the bottom, instead of MPH, it said kilometers.
Yeah.
The light switched. Yeah. And all the numbers were now kilometers. It was like a digital switch thing, and I'm just like, whoa, dude, this is cool.
Every car I've ever owned has always had the miles per hour underneath the kilometers an hour. Like they're smaller numbers. So like
Me
growing
too.
up mentally, we've always, at least on this side of the border, understood a baseline of the conversion.
Not here.
Because we're like, if we're going, generally, if you're going, 100 kilometers an hour, we know that that's 60 miles an hour, right? We can do these conversions because we have to deal with, the bumbling buffoons across the.
Hey, this is America.
But at the same time, because again, the biggest powerhouse in America, and I'm gonna say this, I don't care how you feel, is not your army, it's your media. Your media is your biggest powerhouse, right? And because your media is so strong, your media is all around the world and it's influential all around the world. And in order to understand your media, we have to understand your stupid ass measurements.
This is America.
Right? So like if I watch, some like the racing shows that are produced in the States, I have to understand miles per hour. If I'm watching anything that's related to vehicles in general, I have to understand freaking gallons. Like when I told you I bought that wing sauce the other day, what did I say?
I remember.
I said I bought a gallon of wing sauce. Do they sell a gallon of wings? No.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
You don't
now.
have gallons here, but I say it because for you bumbling buffoons over there to understand me.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping. Dude, it's just, hey, this is America. That's all I gotta say. So with the newer cars, that's what I've noticed, that they don't have that thing inside anymore. My old truck did have that, where it had the two systems.
So, hold on. I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Because you have a travel channel and you do enjoy to travel and you've been to a bunch of places. Do you find it difficult when you travel outside of your country because they're not in Imperial?
Yes.
Right. So I guess that's a privilege that I've had that I didn't really understood that I had, because if I was American, I wouldn't really understand like how to do these conversions and how to really, like, I guess, assimilate to their society. Right. Like the only thing that I have to really worry about is exchanging money. Right. I understand the weather. I understand their math. I understand everything else, no matter where I go in the world. But as an American, you go there and you're like, well, you guys are in a different world from me. Like, this is a different planet. Like
it's literally the American way. So
it's so crazy, bro.
When I go somewhere else and I'm just like, why are you idiots not on our system?
And the rest of the world's pointing at you like
exactly. Why aren't you guys on the US system? It's easier. Why are you not? Why you gotta go? Why isn't like 3 miles like a 5K? Why is it 3.2? Why can't you just be even about it? Why can't you just be 3 miles? Why does it gotta be 5.2 or 3.2 on a 5K, So when I travel and we've rented cars before and I'm driving through, I'm eyeballing that freaking odometer, or I don't know what do you guys call it? Odometer also?
Yeah, it's an odometer.
It's the American way. The American. Remember, some of the first cars that were coming out were from America.
Well, that's if you believe in certain inventors or not. If it wasn't in America, it don't matter.
Hey, as far as I know, it's the American way.
Oh
Electricity was born here. Edison. Ford was born here. Cars. Football, NFL was born here. Hamburgers were born here. It's the American way. Hallelujah. Yeah, dude, it's like I've been to so many places and I do. Oh, what are prawns?
They're like shrimp.
When I was looking, they didn't tell me anything. When I opened up the menu and I'm just like, prawns? The fuck is that, dude? And I'm just like, I think I'll have the quesadilla, please. Like, give me some tortillas and cheese. And it's funny. So I went to a Japanese restaurant in Fiji, and this is where I saw the word prawns for the first time. And we were kind of like we asked so many questions. What's this? What's this? What's this? Prawns is the one that stuck out to me, and they were like, "Oh, American, it's shrimp." I was like, "Well, why don't you just put shrimp on it? Why you got to put freaking prawns on it?" And they're like, "Well, it's not shrimp, but it's kind of like shrimp, but you guys will know like it's shrimp." I'm like, "Get me one of those. Let me try it." And I'm like, "This is freaking shrimp. It's what it is. It's shrimp." But yeah, I do every time I go somewhere else and I have to ask for a drink. I always have to look. So this is how I do it in my head. When I see a drink and I see this size, and then I see the number a little bit bigger or the name a little bit different, and then, or maybe the number even smaller, and then I see another size, what I do is I look at the price. If the price looks bigger, I'm like, okay, this is small, this is medium, this is large. I don't know what that equivalates to when it comes to 8 ounce, 16 ounce, 32 ounce, or all I know in metric is a pint. So what is this? Mini pints, regular pints, big pint? I don't know. So I'll be like, cool. I want the middle one. Honestly, that's what it is. So when if you were to tell me, hey, what's okay,
it's probably a form of political control, right? How to keep Americans in America, right? Because if you go out, you really truly feel like a foreigner.
Oh
like
yeah,
you don't belong there.
And it's funny too because everybody looks at me and they don't think I'm an American. Everywhere that I've ever gone to, I've gotten Middle Eastern, I've gotten Indian, not this Indian, this Indian, the country from India. I've gotten Australian, I've gotten Polynesian, bro. I've gotten everything but.
Growing up here, that's the most common questions that other kids would ask me. Where are you from? And if, because to me, I was born here, so I'd always be like, yo, I'm Canadian. And they would automatically come with, no, where are you really from? And I'm like, the fuck, I can't be Canadian? Like,
yeah.
Because like to me, I feel like here's my thing. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to people from my ethnicity because I wasn't born there and I wasn't raised like that. Like I don't know that much about the culture to really represent it. So when people say, you know, no, where are you really from? I'm like, yo, I'm really from Canada because I was born here, I was raised here. Like I don't want to do a disservice to my ethnicity because I wasn't brought up on that kind of culture. Like even my upbringing wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like as a first generation immigrant to a country, your parents are working like 24/7. Your parents don't raise you. So what happens? This probably happened the same way with you, right? Because I know that you had a really close relationship with your grandmother, but my grandmother lived in the same house with me. So my parents both worked crazy hours and my grandma was home raising me. You know what I mean? Like that's how it was. And you kind of are raised with your family, but not your parents because your parents are always working.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if you like now there's more single parent households than ever before. And the single parents are working 2 and 3 jobs. But back then it was 2 parents that were working 2 and 3 jobs as immigrants into a new country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy times, man.
Yeah. I miss my grandma.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. That could be a whole other conversation, but
yeah, like I was raised by my grandma, so I was really close with her. And you know, anytime I drive by any kind of place like that, I always think of her. Like I've had other people that have obviously passed away in my life, but that was the only one that really stands out to me. You know what I mean? Because like both my parents are still alive, and obviously my siblings are still alive and stuff like that. My grandma was the closest thing to home for me. So, and I know that's probably the same. Well, I mean, you've gone through some shit. I'm not going to go through that down that line, but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, right? And I guess when is this being released?
The 29th.
All right. So everybody has had time with their family. Enjoy it. Spend it with them. Love them. If you have anything to say to anybody, make sure you say it, because sometimes you go through some political drama with our family that we've talked about in the past. So shit happens, but you don't know how much time you have left with people. So take that to heart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with that being said, I wanted to say thank you everybody for coming by. Stay tuned to our next episode because we're going to be talking about our new tech resolution and not our new tech evolution. But we do have an episode coming up on the 31st. So, or you guys know, the 31st thing is the audio. But yeah, stay tuned because we have a lot of stuff coming up. And happy new year. We appreciate you guys for putting up with our crap for another year, another one. And yeah, next level. Take us home.
You know what I always say, man? Thank you guys for supporting what we do over here on the Beyond the Streams podcast channel, BS Clips, whatever you want to call us, whatever you follow. If you're listening to us on the audio side, make sure you drop us a review so other people like yourself can find the content that you enjoy. Make sure you come over to the Beyond the Streams YouTube channel because we do go live every Thursday-ish. Between 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can be a part of the conversation, be a part of the community. You never know where the conversations are going to go. We also have the BS Clips channel that gives you a nice little pocket-sized, bite-sized pieces of the conversation so that you can get caught up on some of the conversations that you missed. So make sure you have those notifications on. Make sure that you're subscribed to everywhere that you can. You never know where the conversation is going to go, and you never know who we're going to have on here. So, do what you can. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.